everyone, welcome to another Maverick Sculpting Body Butter video. We are now doing a full custom with the stuff and see how it holds up. I was throwing some extra on here from the other videos as I was working, just to start filling this in. But that's all I've done to this so far. The rest has just been chopped and moved with soda glue. So now we're going to see what it's like to make a full custom and how it holds up. So I wouldn't recommend using this on anything smaller than a stablemate. But you know, it's great. You don't have to mix it. It's just smooths with water. So this is very enjoyable working with it. I have to say, it's easy and it's quick. But I still don't know what the longevity is going to be like. That's the biggest concern I have and why I won't use this on sales pieces at this time. It just has to be proven that it can last. It's not, it's not a curing thing, because curing takes chemicals and a chemical reaction. This is air drying. This dries with air. So I would treat it as though it were a paper clay or a paper mache type deal, which it may even be a form of, given those fibers. So I would treat it like that right now, which isn't usually used to bond with plastic, but it does hold up. So we'll see over time. But right now I can say that I enjoy playing with it and doing, blocking in things with it at least. So we'll keep going further with this and see how it goes. I'm just going to let this dry overnight and we'll continue with this later though. And now we can really start to pay attention to this and try and get this done. So far it's been sitting for a while, but it's lasted pretty good. It hasn't cracked or anything, this stuff, although this is starting to get a little firmer. So I don't know if I can even really work with this anymore. It says it can be reconstituted. Yeah, so this has gotten a little too firm to work with, so hopefully if we add water, it'll go back like it's supposed to. So I don't think this is going to be very fun to work with anymore. It's gotten a little too solid. Like it is softening up, but it doesn't have the same texture anymore, really. So I have a feeling this is not going to be very good. Just doesn't smooth on and stuff like it did. Still seems to be working okay, but it's not as fun to play with now that it's dried up a little bit and been sitting. This did travel with me to Florida and back. I never got to take it out, never had a chance to, but could have played some part in it. So I don't know. It is a little more difficult to work with now that it's gotten to this more dried out state. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to use this on this piece, because the idea was to, see what it's like to use it for the whole thing, but I guess it'll be alright. Try and keep with it. So here's an interesting issue I'm running into as I'm working on this. Because I'm working over here, and this was previous, and that this stuff is water soluble, it's actually reconstituting the original stuff that was already dry. So now this is becoming loose, and I could probably pull this off really easily. I don't want to do that though. So that is a challenge if you are working in, see, I can't even smooth this on here because it's going to pop this right off because this got wet and this started to get, you know, reconstitute in here. So, I mean, given that this is now a little too hard, that I'm going to have to reconstitute and it's just not working the same way, I'm probably not going to be able to finish this project how I wanted to. I wanted to do the whole thing and that stuff, but this is just, it's frustrating me way too much and not sticking, and I think because it's a little dried out, then it's just going to take more effort, and because it's reconstituting the other stuff and I have to add more water to this stuff because it's, yeah, it's just going to be a little too difficult for me to do this whole project in this, unfortunately. I was having a lot of fun in the beginning with this because it was working really nice and smoothing on here for like big things, big shapes, for like the tail and stuff, big smooth shapes, but it's starting to prove to be a little too mischievous here with the stuff that's already been on here. So I think I'm going to finish this up in epoxy. Other than that, I guess my final thoughts on the stuff is that use it when it's fresh. So don't buy too much if you're selling still. I wouldn't buy too much of it. Buy as much as you're going to use. It's not permanent in a way because like it just right here. This was on here solid before. I had no problems with this being this thin and up here and stuck on here. But now that I was been like trying to struggle with this tail and reconstitute this crumbly stuff that dried up, it's getting this wet, it's reconstituting this stuff, and now this is starting to get wobbly. So, I mean, that is the big downfall. If you use it fresh, you could probably get a nice custom out of it. Like I said, this has been sitting for, I gotta do the math, but, you know, it's gotta be at least 2 months now. Nothing's cracked off or anything like that. So it seems to do its job as far as staying on the custom and stuff, but again, it's not permanent, so I don't know what kind of long-term effects that's going to have, and I can't really test out a paint job and stuff on it because I can't even get to that point. I don't plan on like buying more, like I have all this left that I can't really do much with because it's gotten to that crumbly state. Yes, you can, you know, fill this with water and try and get it to a pasty, more workable form, but I mean, it's, to me, it's more trouble than it's worth doing that, so I would either just buy more or forget about it, and I think I'm just going to forget about it for now. Stick with my epoxy, but I mean, overall, I think this stuff is probably good for, you know, a beginner or something that doesn't want to worry about the working time of epoxy, and I guess, I don't know. I don't know. I have mixed feelings, to be honest. Not, you know, it's not, I'm not super gung-ho about it, but I'm not super disappointed with it either. It's just fun. It's a fun new material to play with. Again, I don't know what the long-term effects are, or if it does last long, but I didn't have anything coming off or anything in the time that this was sitting. This also came to and from Florida with me, so that was a pretty big temperature change with humidity and stuff, and again, there wasn't really any ill effects. So, I mean, I guess it's, you know, probably going to be fine, but, yeah, so, I don't know. I think I'm done blabbering now, so, sorry I couldn't get this one all the way to the end for you guys. I really wanted to. I was having a lot of fun in the beginning, but, it's just not fun anymore in this consistency. I should have done it sooner, so that's partly my fault. So this does not have as much of a shelf life as the epoxy, but anyway, so anywho, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye.